30 minutes left. Archangel Michael says, "It's only for you, don't tell anyone." 2 minutes left. Angel have taken your name to move you from your house tonight. Open quickly. Archangel Michael says this is sealed for your ears only, and every word lands like a heartbeat counting down. 30 minutes. Fold into your palms like warm coals you must carry with care. The air moves around you as if a door has already opened and the hall beyond is waiting. Do not speak this to anyone, not to the walls, not to the windows, not to the echo of your own name. The message arrived the way thunder travels after lightning, late but unstoppable. You were chosen because your spirit knows how to move when others freeze. There is a line of footprints in your memory that begins tonight. Your name was lifted, spoken, and placed upon a path designed to lift you out of the place that kept you small. A moment flows like a fierce river and you have the courage to swim. A quiet hand has written a time upon your destiny and it reads 30 minutes. The second hand chiseled the edges of hesitation until only action remains. You will move like a whisper, and yet the world will feel the tremor. Blessing 333 is released over you now. The night carries the hush of a theater before the curtain rises. Your soul can feel the velvet sweep back even if your eyes still see the room you know. The scene is changing and you are stepping into your true light. A page turns without tearing and the next chapter breathes your name. The room you have called home taught you strength, but it is not the final shelter for your victory. A higher roof has already been measured for your tomorrow. Your heartbeat is the metronome of this exodus and it is steady. You are not being cast out, you are being carried forward. The difference is a crown only you can feel. The window knows the night, but the night knows your purpose. Your breath will not stumble and your feet will not wander. You are moving because grace has already moved ahead of you. Blessing 444 seals your path and your peace. 30 minutes fall to 29 as you gather what cannot be replaced. You take what was promised, what was earned, what was always yours, but quite right. Nothing that belongs to you will vanish on this journey. This is not a warning of loss. It is a decree of arrival. The address of your future is being written in lines of gold within your spirit. The key is already warm in your hand though you have not yet seen the door. The old echoes will try to call you back with the language of doubt. You will hear them like distant traffic, present but powerless. Your stride answers with certainty and your certainty cannot be bribed. The map is invisible to others, which is why silence is your ally. You are not hiding. You are honoring the sacredness of timing. You move like sunrise through a narrow street. Blessing 555 lifts your steps and multiplies your favor. The floor remembers every night you stood and refused to break. Tonight the floor blesses you and releases you to higher ground. Strength waves from the past while promise waves from the horizon. 2 minutes will come like a drumroll that never learned to soften its hands. Even now your name is carried like a lantern in the procession of angels. This procession does not wander because your destination was set before you felt the pull. You are not leaving empty. You are leaving with the quiet thunder of fulfillment in your chest. The next place will fit you the way ocean fits the shore after a storm. Your story has many cities and this is one of them. Some cities are lessons and some are crowns and you will wear this one like both. Your tears will plant new gardens that will not wither. Blessing 666 breaks every chain that tried to follow you. There is a bag you keep for moments like this, even if you did not know it until now. Into it goes the letter you once wrote to your future self and never mailed. Into it goes the photograph of the smile you promised to protect. The scent of courage is clean like rain after heat. It rises now in the room and your lungs understand that they were built for this air. The clock nods and you nod back. You are not running from shadows. You are running toward a light that refuses to dim. You will arrive because your name has already arrived. When you touch the door, the handle will feel familiar. It feels familiar because you dreamed it into your hand many nights ago. Dreams pay their debts and tonight they pay in full. Blessing 777 crowned your head with calm victory. You remember every time the world tried to tell you to wait your turn was never on the board they were playing. Your turn was being written in another room where your voice already echoes. The quiet inside you is not emptiness, the quiet inside you is a choir with its breath held for the downbeat. The downbeat is now and it shakes the dust without breaking the floor. There are names for fear and you know them all. Yet none of them feel at home in you tonight. They fold themselves and step aside like coats that no longer fit. You walk forward wearing clarity. The neighbors will sleep and the street will listen. The street will carry the rumor of your rise and it will be a sweet rumor. They will reach the corners of tomorrow before you do. Blessing 888 opens hidden doors and invisible assistance. Archangel Michael says your steps are guarded by a brightness that understands the dark. The brightness does not argue and does not announce itself with noise. It simply stands where harm would have stood. You have felt alone in rooms filled with faces. Tonight you will feel held in a hallway that looks empty. That is the paradox of real protection and you are ready for it. Your voice carries a code that unlocks the meeting meant for you. You will not knock loudly and you will not apologize for arriving. The code is your presence and the door knows it. A message will appear in the small places you usually overlook. It will feel like a friend placing a hand on your shoulder without speaking. You will understand without argument. Blessing 999 sets a shield around your travel and timing. You pack the truth of who you are and leave the lies folded behind. Lies do not fit in this luggage and they never did. You step lighter without their weight. These minutes are not your enemy. These minutes are the escort that clears the hallway ahead. They wave you through as if you have always belonged in the front. There is a chair by the window that will not see you in the morning. Let it keep the imprint of this version of you. The next chair will learn your new posture. The past applauds softly so the future can speak. The future speaks with the cadence of your full name. You answer with a yes that glows. Blessing 111 pours fresh strength into your chest. Silence is sacred tonight because it keeps the shape of your promise intact. You will move without the clatter of explanations. You will breathe without the noise of permission. There is a string of moments that click together like beads and your hands know how to count them. One bead for courage, one bead for clarity, one bead for movement. You touch each and keep walking. You remember the doorway where you were once refused, you pass it and it bows to you without words. Your memory keeps walking and does not stop to negotiate. The sky appoints the moon as witness and the moon agrees. Clouds step aside as if they have rehearsed this choreography. Even the wind learns your name and pronounces it correctly. Blessing 222 anchors your ground and your guidance. 2 minutes approach like a silver hush. This hush is not empty. It is full of arrival. Your heart keeps the tempo and nothing is late. There is a car that will pass and not see you because you belong to a path it cannot enter. There is a sound that will cut across the street and it will feel like a bell that only you can hear. That bell is the signal that everything is aligned. You are the keeper of a promise made in a season when you had less proof. Proof has come and it wears your face. Truth walks beside you, matching your stride. The house has loved you well enough to release you. The walls understand the language of completion. The door accepts the final blessing as it opens. Blessing 1212 accelerates divine movement and relocation. Your hands are steady as you turn the lock. Your pulse is fierce but not frantic. The hallway lifts under your feet like a ship that trusts the tide. You step without leaving pieces of yourself behind. Every part of you that matters travels with you fully. Nothing essential shatters in this crossing. Tonight your name is lifted and carried in a procession older than fear. The procession moves with deliberate grace and does not look back. You are set apart for the doorway that recognizes you. Even the shadow you cast looks taller in this light. It stretches forward like an arrow pointing the way. You follow the arrow you drew with your own endurance. Blessing 1313 routes you past every trap and delay. You will not be asked to justify your timing. Your timing is the proof. The proof is your peace. You have learned to hear the subtle no one else hears. Adhering is your lantern now. You walk by it and it does not flicker. The weight on your shoulders releases like knotted thread finally finding the end. You pull gently and the tangle surrenders. Your steps lengthen because the pull is gone. A memory knocks and you nod to it without inviting it in. You honor it and keep moving. Some memories are bowing partners, not anchors. Blessing 1414 upgrades your authority and your access. There is a quiet smile forming behind your ribs. It blooms when your foot meets the threshold of newness. This smile is your passport. The world outside smells like change and clean metal and early rain. It smells like a station where all trains finally arrive. Yours is the one with your name on the glass. You will sit where fear once sat and you will not be afraid. You will hold what fear once held and you will not tremble. You will name this place home and the place will agree. Your courage wears soft shoes and leaves no scratches behind. It moves elegantly because it has nothing to prove. Elegance is the twin of power when power is at peace. Blessing 1515 places helpers along your route. A message is already waiting in a pocket you rarely use. It says the path is clear and the hour is right. It says your yes has been heard. You take the stairs as if they have always been this gentle. The steps are the exact height of your stride. Nothing in this hallway argues with you. There is music inside silence if you listen with your bones. That music guides your shoulders to relax and your breath to deepen. You travel in the rhythm it offers. The elevator doors open and do not hesitate. Even machines bow to favor when favor arrives. The panel blows with the number that matches your release. Blessing 1616 aligns paperwork, keys, and signatures. Archangel Michael says your name is written upon the route that can never be lost. That writing is not heat that can smear. It is light that does not fade. You move inside that light like a bird that has remembered its wings. You step into the night and the night steps back. Stars choose their positions like sentries honoring a procession. The air feels warmer because your future is a furnace of joy. A phone vibrates and you do not need to respond. Your silence is a sanctuary that keeps this passage pure. You will speak when speaking builds, not when it bleeds. Here is a vehicle that knows to wait 2 streets away. Guidance pulled it there without a map. You will round the corner and find it ready. Blessing 1717 brings safe transport and swift arrival. The handle greets your palm like an old friend. You slide into a seat fitted for your next level. The door shuts softly as if sealing a covenant. The engine hums like a promise kept. City lights stretch into a necklace across the horizon and you wear it with calm. Your eyes find the road and the road finds you. You remember the room you left and feel gratitude without regret. Gratitude pours through you like warm honey. Regret cannot breathe in this air. You are moving because movement is your miracle tonight. You are calm because calm is your weapon tonight. You are silent because silence is your crown tonight. Blessing 1818 surrounds you with unseen guardians. Every turn is measured and every delay is surrendered. The tires write circles of protection on the asphalt and each circle glows. The glow is for you and it does not fade. You think of the people who will only understand after you rise. Understanding will be their gift and not your burden. You release their timelines to meet your new horizon. The city narrows into a stretch of road that feels like a bridge. Bridges were born to hold passages like this. Your passage feels inevitable. Minutes continue to fall and none of them are wasted. Time is not against you. It is your courier tonight. It carries good news to where you are going. Blessing 1919 magnifies good news and closes old doors. There is a key in your pocket for a door you have never opened. The door is real and cued to your rival. It listens for your footsteps like a loyal hound. You step out and the night rearranges itself to fit your courage. The lock accepts the key without argument. A hinge sings a low song of welcome. Inside, the air is new and kind and bright. Even the walls feel like they have been waiting to exhale your name. You breathe and the room breathes with you. You place your bag down as if placing a flag on high ground. Ownership settles on your shoulders like a soft cloak. Peace walks in and takes a seat. Blessing 2020 consecrates your new space and your next season. From this hour forward, old shadows will not know your new edges. They will reach and find only light. Light answers without noise and wins without struggle. Your name is safe in the mouths that matter and invisible to those that do not. The list has been edited by grace and your privacy is honored. Silence continues to serve you. The minutes you feared have turned into the minutes that lifted you. Fear has no invoice to send you anymore. You owe it nothing and it holds nothing you need. Tonight will end and tomorrow will find you standing where promise told you to stand. You will rise without strain and build without breaking. Your path has chosen you and much have you chosen. Blessing 2121 multiplies provision, protection, and peace. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. The room receives you as if it memorized your shape years ago. Your glides over the walls and the walls answer with warmth that steadies your breathing. You set your bag down and the sound is a soft oath of belonging. You walk the perimeter with slow steps like you are tracing a circle of protection. Each corner holds a quiet glow that was waiting for your arrival. The floor hums a calm assurance that your threshold was crossed at the exact right second. A folded note sits on the sill the way a horizon sits under sky. The words inside do not shout, and yet they feel larger than the room. They tell you the hardest part is already finished. You sip water and the glass feels like a promise kept. Your hands are steady and your heartbeat does not rush. You understand that the night is not over, but the danger is. Blessing 2222 settles peace like velvet across your shoulders. In the hall, a distant elevator dings and passes without stopping. You recognize the hush that follows as a sign that secrecy is working in your favor. You move in it like a dancer who knows the stage blindfolded. Boxes never arrive because you did not carry weight you no longer own, only memory and meaning made the crossing with you. Both fit in your chest where they were always meant to rest. A lamp warms the edge of a table and the light looks like morning arriving ahead of schedule. You let it touch your face and it loosens years of tiredness in one breath. Your bones accept the newness as if it were an inheritance finally released. On the counter, you place the small objects that define your true life: a key, a folded letter, a photo that still blows, a coin that once felt like a miracle. You arrange them in a line that points forward. Blessing 2323 aligns your keepsakes with open doors. A window frames a city that has learned to whisper. It hums in a language of streetlight and distant footsteps that mean no harm. You listen and find the rhythm you needed. A kettle hisses and then quiets without complaint. You pour calm into a cup and sip patience. The taste is simple and it fills every empty room inside you. Silence moves like warm water along a riverbed. It smooths the rough stones of your last season without erasing the shape of your journey. You feel the roundness of resilience under your feet. A memory tries to rise like cold smoke and you press a hand to your heart and keep breathing. There is no fire left in that scene and you refuse to fan ash. You choose the present the way a bird chooses altitude. Blessing 2424 dissolves the shadow of old addresses. The clock reaches a gentle hour and the air swells with completion. You sit on the floor and let your back rest against a wall that feels like a friend. The wall holds you without asking anything in return. In another life you would have explained yourself until your voice cracked. In this life you let the facts of movement speak for you. Movement tells your story with clean lines and no smoke. There is a knock in the memory of your mind that no longer startles you. It fades like a rehearsal for a show that was never meant to run. The audience has gone home and you have stepped onto a better stage. You whisper a vow to treat your calm like treasure. You keep the vow the moment you speak it. A hush of confirmation gathers like bright fog around your shoulders. Blessing 2525 installs guardians at both the seen and unseen doors. Night folds its wings and the room shines deeper. You find a pen that writes like a river and begin a list of what you will no longer tolerate. Ink chooses truth over performance and the page agrees. Your name sits at the top of the list as a promise, not a burden. You circle it once to honor the miles behind you. Then you underline it softly to honor the miles ahead. A soft breeze brushes the curtain like fingertips saying welcome. You let the fabric move and the light finds new places to rest. In those new places you recognize the outline of victories that have yet to speak. The floor is cool under your bare feet and the coolness is kind. You feel grounded without being held down. Gravity becomes a partnership instead of a cage. Blessing 2626 protects your boundaries and amplifies your voice. Somewhere, a car glides past without intention to stop. The engine sound arrives and leaves like a page turning in someone else's book. You bless it and let it go. You notice the quiet blinking of a small rudder light on the shelf. Even technology seems to breathe easier in your presence tonight. A rhythm becomes a lullaby for your nervous system. On the table, the coin you carried shines as if sighing in relief. It remembers the hand that gave it to you on a hard day. That hand would be glad to see where you are sitting now. You lay your palm over the coin and promise to multiply what it represents. Not a frantic multiplication but a faithful one. The kind that grows quietly and never forgets its roots. Blessing 2727 invites wise provision and steady increase. You pull the curtains to half open and the window turns into a mirror. You see the version of you that survived every hour designed to break you. The reflection nods and you nod back. A small notebook waits with patience that feels eternal. You open to a blank page and it greets you like fresh ground after rain. You write only the words that glow. Plans arrive not as heavy diagrams but as clear directions. Left here, pause there. Say yes to this, say nothing to that. The map inside you raises its street signs in quiet light. You close the notebook and tuck it under your pillow. Wisdom likes to sleep close to the head that listens. You have proven your listening and it keeps trusting you. Blessing 2828 engraves guidance into your rest and your rising. The night thins until it feels like silk stretched over dawn. There is no hurry and yet nothing is late. You breathe and the room breathes with you. Your phone stays face down and off because silence is your rarest resource. You guard it the way a mountain guards snow at its highest peaks. This discipline becomes a warm coat. In the bathroom mirror you meet your eyes and they are steady. They carry none of the frantic light that once lived there. They carry a river and a harbor in the same gaze. Water in the sink runs clear as a new promise. You cup it and press it to your face. Coolness lifts the last crumbs of dread from your skin. Blessing 2929 sanctifies your routines with simple power. A thin stripe of first light edges the window frame. The stripe grows like a kind voice learning confidence. Morning approaches and you do not flinch. You roll your shoulders back and they feel like open doors. Your posture writes an announcement to every room you will enter. The announcement says calm authority travels here. In the kitchen the kettle's steam curls upward like quiet celebration. You let the steam crown the moment without ceremony. Ceremony has already happened in the realm where names are lifted. You toast bread and the smell is a small miracle. Ordinary goodness walks into the room wearing royal shoes. It sits at the table and waits for you to join it. Blessing 3030 anoints your daily bread and your daily breath. You scan the new address written on a card by the door. The numbers arrange themselves like stars that finally learned your song. You memorize them as if they were a lullaby. A plant on the sill leans toward the light with expert hunger. You turn the pot a quarter inch and honor its instinct. Mutual caretaking begins in this gentle gesture. The floorboard near the entry sings a single note when step gone. You smile and name it a friendly sentinel. Let every home have one honest voice and one honest echo. You gather your bag and the bag feels lighter than last night. You carry only what contributes, every object agrees to the new rules. Blessing 3131 places favor on your entrances and exits. Down the hallway the world smells like paper and soap and fresh paint. You join the scent with the stride of someone who belongs. Belonging breathes easier than approval and you choose it. The elevator door opens and reflects a taller version of you. Not in inches but in certainty. Certainty makes even shadows look respectful. You step outside and morning laces the street with silver threads. Those threads catch on your shoes and turn into pathways. You follow them without needing to guess. A sparrow hops near the curb and refuses to be startled. Small bravery blesses big journeys. You take the blessing and keep walking. Blessing 3232 draws kind signs to greet your path. A message arrives from a number that once caused storms. It sits unread because your weather has changed. Storms can call but they cannot enter. You send a single sentence to the ally who earned the truth. The sentence is light and precise and does not leak power. Then you put your phone away again. In your pocket the folded letter rests like a heartbeat. You could live without it but you do not have to anymore. Evidence is kind even when you no longer need it. A gate ahead opens without needing a key. You understand that some thresholds respond to presence alone. You step through with quiet dignity. Blessing 3333 appoints open gates and silent approvals. By midday your name feels different in your own mouth. It feels heavier with meaning and lighter with effort. That is the signature of genuine elevation. You walk past a window where someone once doubted you. The glass remembers but the doubt does not survive the comparison. Your reflection keeps moving and refuses small negotiations. At a corner, a driver brakes with unexpected courtesy. You nod and cross like a sovereign disguised as a commuter. The day falls in step with you. Inside a peaceful office, papers wait that will confirm the new chapter. You sign what honors your path and decline what tries to borrow your clarity. Every line of ink leaves your hands clean. Blessing 3434 stamps your agreements with protection and profit. You return to the new room as afternoon begins its golden speech. The light hangs cinnamon in the air and makes everything look honest. Honesty feels like the softest chair. The coin on the table winks as if it has learned humor. Even old symbols can relax when their owner finally rests. You laugh once and it echoes like medicine. You stretch on the floor and your spine writes a new alignment. The letters of that alignment spell relief. Relief invites focus and focus accepts. A page in your notebook waits for the evening entry. You already know it will not be heavy. It will simply say you kept moving and were kept. Blessing 3535 secures momentum without strain. The day slides toward its close with no sharp hedges. You cook something warm and simple and let gratitude season it. You eat like a person who has nothing to prove and everything to receive. In the distance, a train hums and then fades to a line of memory. You let it pass and do not chase it. The trains you need now stop at your platform. You open the window and let the room learn the taste of night again. Night enters respectfully because it knows how this story turn. It tarry stars like lanterns for your thoughts. You lean on the sill and watch the quiet. The quiet looks back as if counting your breaths with admiration. Partnership with peace becomes the new habit. Blessing 3636 wraps your evenings in guarded rest. Later, you place your phone on airplane mode and your spirit does the same. You land inside your own skin with ease, the runway is clear and your arrival is soft. A pillow cradles the notebook and you slide beneath a blanket that understands loyalty. The blanket is not heavy yet it convinces your body to surrender. Muscles release their last arguments. Breath by breath, the day folds into a small square and tucks itself away. You permit it and do not add extra corners, the square fits perfectly in the drawer of completion. Sleep approaches like a river with no rocks. You step into it and float without fear, the current knows your name and keeps you. Blessing 3737 deepens renewal in every hour of rest. Dreams arrive without sharp teeth, they bring images of open gates, signed papers, laughing rooms, and unlocked skies. Everything in them agrees with your direction. You wake once and the darkness feels like a friend in a black coat, it stands guard while you drink a sip of water. Then it returns to its post and you return to sleep. In the second sleep, a door opens onto a garden that glows without sun, you walk its path and each stone lights under your foot. No path argues and no voice interrupts. Morning will come and you will greet it without armor, the world will notice the difference and adjust. The day will be shaped by your calm. Blessing 3838 appoints gardens to grow in hidden hours. When dawn finally slips a hand through the blinds, you rise. The first step to the floor writes a new contract with the day. The day signs it in light, you brew hope and pour it into a cup that learned your hand shape. Hope tastes like vanilla and courage when it is this quiet. You drink until you remember all the reasons to stay soft. Softness becomes your strongest steel. It bends and never breaks. It holds shape under pressure because it keeps choosing love. You gather your list and your bag and your breath. All three agree on direction. All three fit under one word that now defines your life. Blessing 3939 binds love to every task and time. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Dawn opens its palm wider and places a brighter coin of light on your table. The coin of light feels warm the way certainty feels warm, you accept it without flinching. Your breath becomes a soft drum guiding the room to wake with you. Furniture seems to adjust by a fraction, as if giving you more space to expand. Growth arrives politely but refuses to leave. You choose clothes that feel like alignment rather than armor. Fabric rests on your shoulders like a calm sentence written in linen. A mirror nods at your decision and does not argue. In your notebook, you draw a small square to represent today. Inside the square, you write one word that carries 20 quiet victories. Continue. The word becomes a key that opens every hallway you enter. Blessing 4040 consecrates your morning with graceful momentum. The street receives your footsteps as if recognizing a signature. Each step writes a friendly autograph that the ground keeps, the city reads it and adjusts to your rhythm. You pass a cafe that smells like cinnamon and steadiness. A window table waits as if it has been saving the view for you. You sit with the confidence of someone who cleanses rooms by arriving. A barista places the cup down with a kindness that needs no label. A heat lifts into your face like a small sunrise, you taste relief made into a beverage. Your shoulders lower another inch because safety is beginning to feel routine. Routine becomes a quiet miracle when built by wisdom. You sip until the miracle settles into your bones. Blessing 4141 attracts simple kindness in ordinary places. An email arrives that once would have rattled you. Today it lands like paper on a desk that knows how to organize storms. Your hands move with surety and the storm becomes a checklist. You select what is yours and decline what is not without ceremony. The cursor becomes a blade that cuts clutter from clarity. You keep only what multiplies your peace. Across the room, sunlight moves a single inch and throws a gold bar across your notebook. The bar looks like a bridge and you decide to cross it. Every sentence you write on the other side carries better air. You notice how your body leans forward without strain. Forward has become a comfortable chair. You sit in it and call it direction. Blessing 4242 sharpens your discernment and steadies your productivity. A message pings from an ally who earned the right to your updates. You answer with measured truth and warm brevity. The bond strengthens because both of you value silence. You remember the place you left and bless it again. Blessing frees both the old ground and the new ground. The release feels like wind crossing open fields. Numbers on a document match what you envisioned in difficult seasons. Alignment prints itself in ink that refuses to smear. You sign with the calm of someone who respects their own signature. Your name looks right in this new context. The context looks grateful to host your name. This mutual honor creates invisible corridors of favor. Blessing 4343 aligns resources, timelines, and outcomes to your good. Afternoon arrives like a friend who knows how to laugh softly in sacred spaces. You clear a small area of the desk and place 3 objects with intention. The arrangement becomes a quiet altar to progress. You stretch your spine and feel a series of tiny lights turn on along your back. Those lights are the switches of release. Your posture learns a language that doors understand. At the window, a bird writes a quick loop of joy across the sky. You witness it and keep working without losing the loop. Joy becomes ambient, like oxygen you no longer have to chase. You remember to drink water, and the water remembers to steady you. Your cells hum with agreement the way a choir hums before the first note. The song arrives inside your skin. Blessing 4444 renews your body as your spirit advances. Evening whispers the kind of hush that signals completion rather than collapse. You close the laptop with gratitude and no fear of what waits tomorrow. Tomorrow is an ally, not a courtroom. The hallway outside your door carries a soft parade of returning footsteps. None of them demand your attention. You send them kindness in silence, and they keep moving. You cook something bright in a pan that has learned your favorite heat. The scent becomes a ribbon that ties the room together. Nourishment feels like agreement with the life you are building. When you eat, your hand steadies the plate the way your focus steadies your decisions. The bite is small and the blessing is large. Your body believes you. Blessing 4545 fills your table with provision that never stumbles. Night arrives with velvet feet and lays a star in your window's palm. The star winks like a confidant who knows the next scene. Confidence settles in the chair across from you and smiles. You sort a stack of old notes and keep only the pages that still shine. The past does not protest your new standards. It bows as it should. On one page, a sentence you wrote months ago glows as if it predicted this very moment. You underline it not as worship but as witness. Witness becomes a lamp for the next 3 steps. The lamp inside you casts warm circles that overlap without crowding. Those circles become rooms that host brilliant ideas. Your ideas begin to set out chairs for the guests they will welcome. Blessing 4646 multiplies insight and draws right collaborators. You step onto the balcony and let the night teach your lungs how to hold calm air. Each inhale gathers courage, each exhale releases residue. The ratio finds you and loves you. Somewhere a siren passes like a sharp line across a canvas. The line does not ruin the painting because the painting is strong. Strength gives context to noise. Your phone stays dark by choice, and that choice glows like a lantern in a hut. Boundaries feel like silk rope. Gentle to hold, impossible to break. You rest your fingers on the rope and smile. Time loosens its tight belt and you breathe without counting minutes. The sky moves an inch and it is enough. Enough is a luxury you now accept. Blessing 4747 guards your boundaries and expands your rest. Before sleep, you place your palm on the note of the way captain places a hand on the ship's wheel. Guidance hums through your skin without drama. The hum is a vow both directions will keep. In the next room, the coin gleams with the contentment of a completed errand. Its job was to remind you that small things can hold sky-sized meaning. It keeps doing that job with devotion. You check the door once with a serenity that wastes no adrenaline. Locks click into place like a choir land in the final chord. Security becomes an aroma, not a performance. Your bed receives you as if it auditioned for this role and won. Cheats settle like cloud agreements around your shoulders. Sleep sees your calm and arrives without negotiation. Blessing 4848 deepens nightly restoration and dream clarity. Dreams part like a curtain and show you a path lined with lanterns. Each lantern bears a name you will meet or a place you will bless. You walk in the lantern's bright and white consent. A gate opens into a garden of language where your future speaks in symbols. You understand them as easily as your own breath. Eases prove you belong here. One morning edges into the dream. It does not break anything. It lifts you from inside the garden and places you gently back in the room. A glow travels with you. You wake with a sentence already formed and whole. The sentence fits today like a tailor-made coat. You put it on and let it choose your pace. Blessing 4949 carries wisdom from the night into your day. Coffee warms your palms and draws your shoulders into the day's embrace. Steam writes invisible sentences above the cup and they all translate to proceed. Proceed becomes your favorite verb. You open blinds and let early light collect on the floor like gold dust. Your feet step through it and some of it clings the way favor clings. Favor follows without needing permission. An appointment appears on the calendar. One you once feared. Fear finds no chair in this room. Confidence sits there instead and adjusts the cushion. You gather documents. Proof and poise, they fit into your bag like members of a gentle squad. The zipper closes like a promise. Blessing 5050 smooths meetings, calls, and confirmations. the sidewalk seems to lift half an inch to meet your stride. Even concrete knows when royalty is passing quietly. You do not flaunt, you flow. A crosswalk the cyclist slows and nods. Mutual awareness softens the morning's edges, the nod becomes a micro-ceremony that blesses both routes. The building you approach wears sunlight like a sash. Doors open with that small whoosh that always sounds like yes. You cross the threshold the way a violin crosses silence. Inside, the air carries the clean scent of new agreements. Pins click like tiny thunder that never fiddens. Pages wait without impatience because they trust your timing. Blessing 5151 inks favorable terms and honorable outcomes. The conversation is straightforward and kind, a corridor without traps. You speak from truth rather than from need. Truth stands up taller than need and holds the room. Numbers align like practice dancers meeting on downbeat. Details find their seats and stop fidgeting. The signature lands and everybody breathes out at once. When you leave, the receptionist smiles in a way that acknowledges completion. Completion winks from the elevator doors before they open. You step in and it carries you with pride, not rush. On the street, traffic sounds like water instead of warning. A city keeps its end of the covenant to move you without friction. You glide toward the rest of your day, blessing 5252 locks in gains and multiplies ease. Back home, the room greets you with a temperature that feels like an embrace. You open the window an inch and let the world send a polite hello. The hello keeps its boundaries. You lay the signed papers on the table and place the coin on top like a seal. The seal blows with quiet certainty. Certainty does not need a speed. You text a single word to your ally, secured. The word lands like a soft gavel, judgment passes in your favor and no one objects. The kettle hums as if it knew what to do without being asked. Steam crowns your cup and you receive the crown without fanfare. Coronations can be small and still be sovereign. Blessing 5353 crowns your confirmations with lasting stability. A message arrives from the version of you who started this journey. He arrives as a memory that feels brand new. Gratitude fills the doorway and invites you to step through again. You thank the old courage for walking when it was mostly dark. Old courage bows and retires to a well-earned seat. New courage stands and takes your hand. You review your list and add a line that glows. Protect peace in all exchanges. The line feels like a guardian posted at each conversation. Guardians keep watch without clanging armor. Your breathing slows until each inhale feels like doors sliding open. Each exhale feels like rooms clearing themselves. Air becomes architecture and you move inside it with grace. Blessing 5454 appoints guardians over your words and agreements. The afternoon deepens and draws a map of shadows that do not threaten. Shadows simply mark the hours that have chosen to serve you. Service surrounds you like a quiet orchestra tuning before joy. You answer to messages with clarity that leaves no fog behind. Clarity travels farther than volume. Your replies arrive as gifts, not noise. The plant on the sill unfurls a new leaf with ceremonial patience. You notice and match its pace. Wrath respects witnesses who do not rush it. You place your palm near the leaf without touching, and both of you keep expanding. Expansion can be polite and still be strong. Strength smiles when it does not need to shout. Blessing 5555 multiplies your growth without inviting strain. As evening returns, you light a lamp that learns your mood. The filament hums like the first note of a favorite song. Familiar comfort finds its chair. You cook again, something humble that tastes like success without pride. The spoon becomes a wand that stirs warmth into every corner of the room. Warmth lingers long after the dish is empty. A gentle message arrives from an unexpected source. Carrying goodwill with no agenda, you receive it and let it rest, neither grasping nor doubting. Rest becomes your policy. You close the notebook with a palm that feels steady as a lighthouse. Lighthouses do their work by standing still. Stillness sends its beam across the water and captains smile. Blessing 5656 secures your evenings with luminous calm. Night folds itself neatly and slides into its place beside your bed. Sleep returns with the same soft confidence as last night. Your body understands the schedule of restoration. In that sweet borderland between waking and dreaming, you say yes again. The yes is small yet total. Total yes dissolves any residue of yesterday's battles. Your dreams show you doors that open because you learn to open them inside first. Inner mastery becomes outer ease. Ease steps lightly down your future's hallway. Somewhere, a clock keeps time that now works for you. The clock is a friend with excellent boundaries. You sleep while your friend keeps watch. Blessing 5757 fortifies your rest and lengthens your daily strength. Morning will return and find you organized without becoming rigid. Flexibility dances with focus in your chest. The duet writes the score for your day. You will move through your commitments like a river choosing the deepest, kindest path. Depth keeps you honest. Kindness keeps you powerful. Your name will sound different again because every day adds a note to its music. People who can hear music will hear it. People who cannot will feel peace and not know why. This is how your life turns, without drama, with precision, with joy that refuses to bract. You become the room where storms retire. You become the road where purpose cruises. Blessing 5858 establishes unshakable rhythm and radiant continuity. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. By early afternoon the light feels practiced in your new windows. It moves across the walls with the calm of someone who has learned your name. You follow its path and your shoulders learn the same calm. A soft knock arrives in the form of a memory that no longer hurts. It sits on the couch and behaves like a guest who knows when to leave. You smile once and it understands. You organize a drawer and every object decides its purpose. Purpose breathes easy when it has a place. The click of wood feels like a sentence ending in certainty. Your feet trace a small circle on the rug and the circle answers like a blessing. It gathers your focus the way a harbor gathers boats. Nothing grips and nothing scrapes. Blessing 5959 binds order to your space and clarity to your mind. You open a document and the first line lands without effort. Lines arrive like gentle birds that do not need to be chased. They settle in rows and make a nest of meaning, across the street. A window opens to let out laughter you do not need to analyze. Joy proves it can exist without explanation. You let it pass like a friendly parade. a message from an ally reads like a quiet torch. It lights the exact corridor you plan to walk. You take 3 steps and the torch walks with you. The hour's edges soften until they hold no teeth. Soft edges invite long concentration. Long concentration grows results that keep their promises. Blessing 60-60 fastens sustained focus to fertile work. You step outside and the day greets you as if you are returning from a voyage. The air carries a taste of metal and sunlight that feels brave. You sip it like a cure that knows your name. A child on a scooter blurs past and leaves a ribbon of laughter in the lane. The ribbon drifts and lands like a sash over the afternoon. You accept it on behalf of your future. The shopkeeper on the corner nods with the authority of a small kingdom. Kingdoms notice when peace moves into the neighborhood. Peace bows back and keeps walking. You choose fresh fruit and a loaf that smells like kindness taking shape. The bag on your wrist swings with the rhythm of an old song you finally remember. Remembering becomes a form of strength. Blessing 6161 seasons your errands with favor and swift completion. Back home, the room receives the groceries as if they were guests of honor. You watch each piece of fruit like a small ceremony of respect. Respect multiplies what it touches. You stack the bread and it sits like a promise on the counter. Promises like this do not expire. They keep a quiet watch over hunger and timing. You place a glass of water by the plant and thank it for choosing more light. The plant answers in the language of green that always sounds like yes. Your chest borrows the same word. Afternoon leans toward evening with the grace of a dancer taking a bow. Nothing fault and nothing pretends. Everything agrees to rest at the right time. Blessing 6262 threads ease through cycles of beginning and finishing. A document pings with confirmation that used to feel distant. Distance has learned to shrink when you walk toward it. You walk and it closes the gap like a loyal friend. The chair by the window turns into a small office where decisions come home. They sit down and behave. Authority arrives without raising its voice. You eat through details that once tasted like iron. Tonight they taste like cool water. You drink until your throat forgets every desert. Your signature lands again, light yet final. Paper sighs in relief as if the ink also had a heartbeat. The heartbeat keeps time with your own. Blessing 6363 seals outcomes that honor your path. Evening lights knit together like careful hands. Chatters take their proper places without becoming threats. The room wears a low crown of gold. You chop herbs and the scent climbs the ladder of the air. Food becomes a message that says you are worth the best of simple things. You answer by sitting down without rush. Your fort moves like a conductor guiding a quiet orchestra. Every bite keeps tempo with your recovery. Recovery plays the kind of music that never hurries. You set the plate aside and keep the gratitude. Gratitude sits on the table like a lamp with a long cord. It plugs into tomorrow without asking. Blessing 6464 pours steadiness into body, budget, and breath. You open the balcony door and let the sky step in. It arrives wearing dusk and soft wind. They bring introductions you gladly accept. Across the way, a radio murmurs a psalm that believes in endurance. Endurance nods from your chest because it recognizes family. You hum one bar and it becomes yours. A single star punctures the blue and invents a sentence you can read. the sentence says keep building and stay gentle. You agree and the star brightens by consent. The city settles like a cat at the foot of your bed, you purse in traffic and distant footsteps. The purr turns into the backdrop for a focused evening. Blessing 6565 attracts quiet inspiration and trustworthy momentum. You draft a plan for the week that sounds like a promise you will actually keep. The columns and dates behave like small allies. Allies prove themselves in calm hours. A notebook page receives your prayer shaped like intention. Intention waits without staring at the clock. Time takes the hint and cooperates. You stack tomorrow's tasks into a ladder only 5 rungs high. Ladders do not need to touch the moon to reach the next level. 5 rungs are enough for today's courage. You close the notebook and feel the click in your bones. At click is alignment taking its seat. Alignment never slouches. Blessing 6666 marries wise planning with joyful execution. Night arrives again with the reliable hush of a skilled guardian. The guardian walks the perimeter of your peace, the perimeter holds without squeaking. You smooth the blanket as if smoothing the last crinkle of an old story. Stories respect hands that finish what they start, the finish tastes clean. Sleep steps across the threshold like a healer with soft shoes. No jars, no sudden flares. No alarms hiding in corners. Only repair in the long, kind dark. Dreams open a quiet gallery and hang your future in frames. Every frame holds a scene that blesses your direction. You look until your breath remembers the path. Blessing 6767 inscribes protection over your sleep and your steps. Morning glides in on invisible wheels. It presses a note into your palm that reads begin with grace. You read it twice and carry it into the kitchen. Steam rises from the kettle and draws a simple halo in the air. Halos belong to ordinary moments when they are honest. Honesty makes halos easy. You slice fruit and the color looks like courage that learned to smile. Your plate turns into a small flag of victory. Victory behaves quietly when it is real. You eat and the room applauds in silence. Even the clock claps by keeping perfect time. Perfect time is any time you listen. Blessing 6868 invites fresh energy and durable optimism. You answer 2 messages that could have stolen your calm last year. They land today like pebbles in a lake that knows its depth. The ripples stop where wisdom tells them to stop. A calendar reminder lifts its hand and you nod. Nods can be sacred when they carry clean commitment. You deliver one and the day bows back. You step into shoes that feel like agreements made by your feet. Agreements made by your feet last longer than agreements made by fear. The laces tie themselves in gratitude. On the street, a bus exhales and rolls away with no demand on you. Not every departure requires grief. Some departures deserve blessing from a distance. Blessing 6969 grants discernment about what to carry and what to release. A doorway opens to a room where your name is pronounced correctly. Correct pronunciation is a form of respect. Respect unlocks accuracy. You sit and the chair adjusts like a loyal instrument. Instruments tune themselves around excellence. Excellence thrives where ego is quiet. The conversation flows like a river that knows the delta. Each point finds the ocean without argument. Agreement takes notes and schedules a celebration. When you leave, The hall smells like warm varnish and confidence. Floors remember good footsteps. Yours are becoming a tradition. Blessing 7070 enlarges your influence without attracting noise. Back at home, like pools in the corner, like gold gathering from a long journey. It settles where you keep the coin and the letter. The corner turns into a shrine of simple proof. You sit nearby and breathe like a person who has learned weather. Weather still happens and you still choose windows. Choice is the roof over your mind. You read one page from the book that always calms you without preaching at you. It reminds you of the terrain you have already crossed. Dre respects those who respect themselves. You close the cover as if closing a friendly gate. Friendly gates open again when asked with care. Care becomes your native language. Blessing 7171 braids patience, power, and provision into your days. Evening brings a message from a circle you once left. The message arrives with kindness and no hoax. You bless it and let it rest where it fell. You light a small candle and the flame decides to behave. Flames appreciate rooms that have made peace with themselves. The wick writes a thin column of warmth. You stretch until your ribs feel like they just learned to smile. Muscles applaud by letting go of old news. Old news packs its suitcase and leaves without noise. You put on music that keeps the volume of your soul balanced. Balance tastes like cool air and quiet thunder. Quiet thunder becomes your signature. Blessing 7272 maintains inner harmony as your world expands. Night leans close and your windows turn into soft mirrors. They show you a person who kept moving when the hour was narrow. Narrow hours become white roads when honored. You write a final line in the notebook and date it with gratitude. Dates become pillars when they hold true turning points. This pillar will stand in every future room. You turn off the lamp and keep the glow inside. Glow travels well without a suitcase. It sleeps close and wakes ready. You settle into the bed the way a ship settles into its home port. The water holds without argument. Rest signs the logbook with a steady hand. Blessing 7373 renews your courage for every fresh morning. If you wish to express your support further,